crypto warriors, changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors, can't rely on the bankers, no way.
Good morning. Bix Weir, roadrunner.com. Put your morning horn as your sip of chaga coffee. It's coffee with a little bit of chaga sprinkled into it. Actually, a lot of chaga. I love my chaga because I know what it does in my body. It clears things out that I don't want in my body. On Road to Ruta, we don't always get things right. The Silver Eagle, yesterday I was talking about how the Gold Eagle didn't have the notch, only the Silver Eagle had. I was corrected. I got that wrong. Yes, the 2021s, 2022 Gold Eagles, well, the second half of the year, 2021, has the notch. And you can see it right here. This is the 2021, and you zoom in. There it is. There's the notch. That infamous notch. That's the security part of why they changed the Eagle mid-year. Mid-year, mind you. What was so important that you put a little notch in mid-year? Cliff had talked to somebody in Europe, and they were basically putting, it's kind of like a micro braille system into coinage so that it would differentiate a gold eagle versus a fake or any other type of eagle. It would be the money of the United States of America. And we all know, how do we know that it's money? You look on the back. 50-1 is the ratio from the mint. $50, one gold piece will be $50 supposedly. You can't have see, that's the problem with money in general, coinage that has see, there we go again. In the old world versus the new world, when you put a dollar amount on coinage, clearly this U.S. Gold Eagle is worth more than $50. The melt value of it is right now at $1,800 or something. So theoretically, if a law was passed that says this is only worth $50 in U.S. dollars, then everybody would melt down that coin and sell the gold. But the reality is, why haven't they changed that $50? And for the U.S. Gold Eagle, it is $1. The gold-silver ratio is clearly way out of whack at 80-1. But unless we're talking about a different kind of dollar, and that's where we're headed. The old system is about to collapse. And I am fully convinced now, after all the drama over the past couple of years about whether or not the Road to Ruta theory was correct, I'm fully convinced that we need a total destruction of the monetary system, not a revamp. A total destruction and a move to what the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston, this kind of world. This is the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston's comic book. It came out on the same page as the Road to Ruta documents. Now, the Road to Ruta documents are twofold. There's the Wishes and Rainbows comic book that was originally made in 1981, Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. Actually, it was originally a 1979 article in their week or monthly magazine, The Ledger. And then they turned it into a comic book and a teacher's guide so little kids can learn about scarcity and the need for gold in a monetary system. But the same day that they posted the number one, the Wishes and Rainbows, number two was the Road to Ruta. The Road to Ruta teacher's guide that explains those who can't figure out what is being taught in the Wishes and Rainbows comic book. You have a teacher's guide called the Road to Ruta, a teacher's guide. So go check those out. But the very same day, now those were posted on this website, the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston, with two huge red exclamation points. On a holiday, it was January 1st, 2007. That was the day it was posted. That was the day I found it. What was I doing there on January 1st, 2007? I don't know. It was meant to be, but I was. I was at the time going through the Federal Reserve Bank archives. I went through all the archives, not all of them. My God, there's so much. But the archives of the Federal Reserve branches. And I just happened to be hungover on January 1st, 2007, the very day they posted this page. It had the Road to Ruta, the redo of the Road to Ruta comic, Wishes and Rainbows, the redo of the teacher's guide, and then they had this link also. It was called Banking Basics. It talks about banks, and it talks about how banks fail and the need it shows a picture in here of exactly what we're about to see, which is this. Now, this came out originally in 1987. They redid it with the Road to Ruta documents in 2007, and this is what they showed. A little girl walking into a bank, either exchanging gold for coins or for cash, or exchanging cash for gold. A redeemable gold system. And you can see the price of gold in the back. This, if you listen to Hugo Salinas Price, and I think he's correct, you cannot, if you're going to still have fiat money, you can't have a dollar amount printed on the coin or engraved on the coin. Because the value of that coin, unless it was the value of the coin is a lot more than the value of the underlying metal, which it always has to be. Otherwise, people would just melt down the metal and get more money for melting down the coin. So that's the world we're headed into. They didn't change the price of gold, but they did have, you see here in the back, the gold coins here, there is a price graph in the background of this bank. And it doesn't matter what's on the coin, they're going to have a price for gold in US dollars at every bank, because we're going to be using gold and silver as money, redeemable gold and silver as US dollars, not Federal Reserve notes. I hope this makes sense. And I mean, I'm not making this stuff up. Everybody goes, oh, Bix, your road router theory is full of shit. You don't know what you're talking about. There's no gold in the Grand Canyon. There's only, US has probably leased out all its gold, which it probably has. Not all of it, because we have millions of tons, not 200,000 tons. Jeffrey Christian's a liar. I hope everybody understands that by now. And him and his buddies is where those numbers come from. But yeah, here's Ruta trading in these things right here. And I think she had 19 of them. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Brilliant. That's how much I researched this in 2007. I was like getting down to the nitty gritty. And it's not just this. It links over to so many other things. And between this, looking at this, and then looking at the GATA picture of the Fed in sunlight. Remember, the GATA picture is cloaked in darkness. Bill Murphy and the GATA faithful are charging into the Fed, and the door is shut. And here's this on page 32, the GATA building. This is the Federal Reserve building. All of a sudden, it's in sunshine. The door is open. The GATA folks aren't having to charge the building anymore, meaning the end of precious metal manipulation, the rebirth of a sound monetary system. Now, we get to decide, though. You don't have to use the system. We get to decide. We get to decide. That's why cryptos are so beautiful. So we can use cryptos as well. We get to decide. No longer will there be people in charge of telling you how many fiat dollars you can live off and spend and how much they get to create out of thin air, which is infinity right now. And Jamie Dimon loves that their derivative book's over $50 trillion. That's like printing free money. Throw more derivatives at the silver market. Throw more derivatives at the bond market. Throw more derivatives. Just spread them all out throughout the world because we're getting rich off them. And then bang, the derivative meltdown is going to happen. And then everybody's going to be blaming these people who screwed up our system so badly. And we get to choose. Screw them. We get to choose. I choose silver. I choose gold. And I choose cryptos. You can choose whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. The U.S. government, I think they're going to use gold, silver, and they're going to use the Satoshi Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, because that's who I think controls it. I don't know for sure. The remote viewing we did, or the crypto viewing guys did, had basically came up with 4 people, and it spanned the generation of the creation of Bitcoin, digital type of money without any third-party reliance. And it started with John Kimeny. And Dick Allgaier drew a picture of John Kimeny teaching about the program, the shareable computer program called BASIC. Remember, none of this would happen unless we had phones, unless we have cell phone computers that we can transact on as you go out into the world. That's the big problem with gold. You got to carry around these big chunks of gold. With cryptos, it's all on your phone. And none of that would have happened without John Kimeny. In the 1960s, he was the mathematician for Albert Einstein. He invented shareable computer programming language called BASIC. Now, John Kennedy's best friend was Alan Greenspan. Alan Greenspan was a huge computer programmer in the 1960s. He took that and created our electronic financial system. Him and some of other people who were dealing with punch cards back then. He blames himself for the Y2K problem. He only programmed in 2 digits instead of 4. He didn't say it was totally him, but remember who his mentor was in the 1960s was Arthur Burns, the head of the Federal Reserve System. That is why Alan Greenspan was put as the head of the Fed by Reagan in 1987. Because he knew everything there was to be known about electronic money and computer programming. He was the world's best financial computer programmer for decades, and no one knew about it. How do you think he controlled the system? Oh yeah, the Greenspan babble. He was just spouting off crazy shit because he knew he controlled everything with computers and derivatives. So the road to root theory is absolutely correct, and we are moving towards a gold and silver standard. They will be putting in this little notch. It's a beautiful coin, by the way. They're going to be putting some kind of either cryptographic or Cliff said it was some type of braille system, where in this little notch, they're going to be injecting some kind of a foolproof system that says, we know what this coin is, how it was formed, where it came from, that it's true that it was from the U.S. Mint, voila. And here's the point in time that it was minted because we inscribed or whatever they did to these notches. And people aren't going to want to wear off what's in that notch because it'll be worth less. So you're going to want to keep that notch. The reality is gold and silver coinage cannot have a numeric value that is lower than the melt value. And we've seen it throughout history, all the silver quarters that got melted down. Silver isn't like a silver pre-65 quarter. It's not worth a quarter anymore. It's worth a hell of a lot more. Now, I wouldn't melt down silver and gold coinage if you paid me, literally. But if they didn't allow you, if the government brought its boot down on your neck and said you have to use it for the value of the coin, 25 cents, then the government better have some kind of different monetary system. And I think they are coming up with one. It's not different. We're going back to our old monetary system. Gold and silver as money. That was it. That's in the Constitution. Now we have cryptos. Cryptos are going to be by choice. And the government's, Gary Gensler needs to go away and will go away with the crashing banking system. Truthfully, I admire Gary Gensler for being so damn smart. But he's part of the problem. He's a regulator that helps companies like JP Morgan rig the silver market. Now he's at the SEC. He wants to control everybody's crypto. Get government out of the picture. All these exchanges will fall apart and be gone. Even all the crypto exchanges will be gone with the crashing banking system. You have to have your shit in your own possession now, right now. There will be no SEC in the future. Will the stock market start up again? I don't know. Yes, it's going to be a mess, and nobody knows how it's going to work out. Especially the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston that had to put out a teacher's guide to this whole, it's a playbook. But in the teacher's guide, they asked over 30 questions that are never answered. Will the people accept this kind of new monetary system? Will the government take over all the mines? What are people going to do when they stop trusting in their government? Why is gold so important and scarcity so important for a form of money? We all know, if you've studied Bitcoin enough, gold enough, and silver enough, we all know it's all about scarcity. And the ability to create more is the killer. And that has always been the failure of gold. It hasn't been the gold itself. It is the ability of people, human beings, to create more and hide the true supply and demand dynamics. That's what's going on. And people are fighting back. This is shocking. GoFundMe. So all the truckers in Canada are fighting for their freedom and they're fighting against the government. The government required GoFundMe to confiscate $10 million in donations that people were giving to the truckers. That's revolution type of shit that's going on in Canada right now. If they did that in the U.S., I wouldn't want to be a politician who backed that up. Not only that, they confiscated, and originally they said, and we're going to donate it to charities that we approve of. Oh, it was insane. Imagine you're a conservative and you're going, oh, I'm helping the fight for freedom. I'm going to give $1,000 to this cause. They rake up $10 million worth of donations because there's so many people who are fighting for the cause. And then the government comes in who is anti-cause, anti-nationalistic type. Your criminal government comes in, not only freezes the money, but they say, we're not gonna put it towards this cause. We're gonna pick the cause. So we're gonna give it to some Antifa cause or whatever they want. That is revolution time. In the U.S., it would be a revolution overnight. Every politician would be hiding in their little, safe spot. Anyway, GoFundMe said, we changed our mind. They're still not allowing them to keep the $10 million, but GoFundMe will refund donors. Now they're saying, okay, we're not going to take it and give it to a Antifa cause. We're going to take it. We're just going to give it back to everybody who donated. But still, the ability to cut people off of the monetary system shows how powerful money and the control of the monetary system is. They can cut off an entire half a country, or probably 3/4 of the country of Canada, from supporting a cause to take back their government, take back their health, take back everything. That is where we are now. This is huge. Just the thought that they were going to do that. That's revolution type stuff. And everybody knows it now. Everybody probably knew it before. That's why it's so important to keep gold and silver and cryptos out of the hands of the regulators. They don't need regulators. We don't even need these goddamn exchanges unless the exchange is clean. And nobody should be investing in any market on any exchange that doesn't have provable trades. The stock market is a huge fake trading platform. So many more shares. I think the last count was 100 or 200 million shares that trade are never settled, meaning they're not there. Just high frequency trades going back and forth. That value you think you have in your 401k is at nothing. It's zero. It's a fake. It's one of the game of musical chairs. And when the music stops, nobody's going to have a chair, because the ones who do have a chair, no one's going to say, yes, oh, you deserve that share of a stock because you decided to take a certificate. Not even those guys. The fraud is in the entire monetary system. Exchanges, you name it, derivatives piled on. Get your physical silver in your own possession. Get your physical gold if you, for some insane reason, want physical gold in your own possession. If you love gold, right now you'll swap your ounce of gold for what? I don't know, 70, 75, probably after the whoever's dealing with you does the swap for you. Still, you'd swap it today, wait till the ratio goes 1-to-1 or better, and then you'll have 75, 80 times the amount of gold you have right now. I swapped out my last piece of gold. It was one of those golden buffalo 1 ounces for 90 ounces of silver, I believe it was. Best move I ever made. If I want that gold buffalo back, I'll wait till the end game happens. They stop rigging the price. The exchange is shut down. And then I'm going to buy 80 or 90 golden buffaloes when we know how much exactly the world has in gold. Truthfully, I probably won't. But I still love silver, because silver is a depleting asset where gold is just getting bigger and bigger. Right now, or I've been saying this for 5 years, so it's much different now, but it was a 1-to-1 ratio on above ground gold and silver, about 6 billion ounces of each. In the meantime, we are consuming over half of the silver we mine every year, and almost every single ounce of gold is being stockpiled. It should be so obvious to everybody. I just heard that Tesla is now going to stop solar installations due to inventory restraints. Yeah, they probably can't get the silver. Elon, you know exactly what's going on in the silver market. Elon Musk can say, hey, look what he did to that crazy coin Shiba Inu. Elon can say, everybody better buy silver. Meanwhile, he's probably got millions of ounces, hundreds of millions of ounces tucked away for all his. Can you imagine how much silver his stuff takes? His electronic cars, massive amounts of silver. His solar projects, massive amounts of silver. Even his space projects, massive amounts of silver. Maybe not as massive. Even the flamethrower, I bet you it has some silver in it. It has any electronics at all. It's probably got silver in it because silver's the best conductor of electricity. There's so many reasons to own silver. Number one reason is the end of 170 years of price suppression. Instantly, silver will go 1,000, 10,000, you name the number. I'm more looking at the ratio. Gold's going to go up. Don't worry. It'll go to $5,000, $10,000 an ounce. But so will silver. And silver's sitting there at $22, begging you to buy it. You don't have a local dealer, contact mine, Andy Scheckman. Andy, A-N-D-Y, at milesfranklin.com. He is also the sponsor of the Freedom Roadshow. We are going on the road very soon. Let's see here. Actually, I just posted 2 Jenny Moonstone ratings. One is Freeing We the People of Canada. That just cracked us up. And number 2, T-Drop, T-Drill, T-Fuel, or Theta. All are good, but which is best? We have an interesting discussion, and we ask the cards, which is the best to invest in right now. I love them all, but at times you want to invest in something more than the other. So go check that out. That's on the private road in the Jenny Moonstone section. But the roadshow is all about freedom. They're real and brand. We went here last night. That's the first place in Sonoma on March 5th. We're going to be talking about freedom. And if you want to do your part and you wish you were on the front lines in Canada, but you live in, California and Arizona and New Mexico to start with, come check out the Freedom Roadshow. You can go to roadtoroar.com, click on Roadshow, and down at the bottom, you can buy tickets for any of the shows. It's like $25. Nothing. And it's a lot of fun, and some friends are coming out on the road too. So go check it out. And finally, last but not least, cryptos finally get a bid. They're finally jumping again. Bitcoin's back above $41,000. Theta's kind of like silver. It's the unsung hero. Remember, Theta's done well. Yeah, it's gone from 4 cents to $16, now back to $3, and it'll go up to $25, then back to $8, and then to $2,000, and then back to $500. You're gonna have to ride that out. But the big move, the mother of all moves, has not happened yet. And what is it? What is the mother of all moves? Coinbase. Imagine the American people having easy access to Theta Fuel, and probably by then T-Drop. Doesn't that give you chills? It's like when I was screaming about Theta when it was under 10 cents. I'm like, I can't believe this. Check it out. You can load up the boat. Theta under 10 cents. 5 years from now, you'll be watching this video and I'll be screaming, oh my God, you can buy Theta under $5 right now. As a matter of fact, you can buy Theta at $3.18 right now today. Can you believe that? And then it hits 10,000. And you look back and, damn, how did that happen? Kind of like Bitcoin is at what? $41,000. I've been screaming about it since it was $200. Screaming. We need different types of governance throughout everything, from our corporations to the way we deal with the internet to the way we deal with money. Everything is changing, and if you don't understand that, you're going to miss out. I have a problem with what David Morgan and his guy have been saying because they're missing the big picture. Yes, there's fraud in cryptos. Of course there is. The problem is they're missing the usefulness, the use case of cryptos. They're missing the fact that cryptos are our future. And you can throw as much FUD as you want out there. There's more criminals in fiat money and in gold and silver than there is in cryptos, if you ask me. Everything has criminals in there. But you cannot now, after all this time, after 12 years of Bitcoin staring you in the face, in a right mind say, oh my God, you can't hold cryptos. That's insane. That's just lack of study, lack of understanding of what we're going through. Cryptos are our future, a decentralized form of governments. People are not to be trusted at all anymore. And when everybody loses everything in a derivative crash, you're going to understand it. You can understand why the blockchain is so important. You can understand the need for decentralization and everything, because people are fallible. Not only fallible, they're corrupt. Regulators especially. That's my high horse. Theta's right now at $3.22. T-Fuel's at 20 cents. The ratio's like 16, 17 to 1. Right now, the T-drop ratio, you can get yourself, you can buy T-drop by swapping on something called Volt, doing Volt swaps. You need MetaMask. It's more complicated, but I'm sure there's some videos out there on how to use MetaMask and Volt if you want to swap like T-Fuel for T-drop. Right now, the payout ratio on T-drop is big. It's like 40%. But that's just because it's new and people are now starting to stake it. They say, hey, where'd I get this T-drop? Look, I can one-click stake it. And so the more people that stake, the more you're going to have the price come down to kind of normal. I think in the long run, Theta Fuel and T-drop and any other new coins that get developed as Theta takes over the world, in the long run, the ratios will probably be about what they are released at. So there's 1 billion Theta, there's 5 billion Theta Fuel, so it's probably going to be 5 to 1 there, and then there's 20 billion T-drops. So T-drop to Theta should be about 20 to 1. Theta Fuel to T-drop should be about, 4 to 1? And I think it's right around there now. Anyway, that's my take this morning. Again, go to roadtoroto.com, go to the member area, and for you private road people, and check on the Jenny Moonstone readings, because I just posted 2 new ones on they're on BitChute private because YouTube won't even let you post anything. I mean, the stuff we talk about is completely censored right now. So go check that out. There's literally dozens and dozens and dozens of great discussions about freedom, about gold, about silver, about Theta Fuel, now T-drop. So go check that out. Anyway, this is Bix Weir, roadtoroto.com.